Gravei essa, hein? Essa foi boa. Tá registrado, hein?
Essa foi boa. Okay. I was born and raised in Mossoró, in Rio Grande do Norte. It's in northeast of Brazil. A very rough area, and people usually do the traditional stuff. A woman like me, I grew up with my mom raising 5 kids. She is a nurse, and nurses in Brazil don't make a lot of money. My dad was an alcoholic his whole life, and my mom was the one bringing the money home and trying to raise us in the best of her ability. I always had a lot of energy. I always felt like I needed to do things. I was born with this desire to live life fully. And, seeing my mom struggling to raise us, and my dad going through alcohol problems, it was the thing that made me think, fuck that, I'm gonna do something with my life, I'm gonna change that. I early on really had a big desire to leave the place where I was born and lived the beginning of my life, because it was too hard. Not a lot of opportunities, not a lot desire to be there, because I could see a path of me going to school, getting a job, getting married, having kids, and living a miserable life. So then these two things kind of sparked this huge desire and fire on me to change my life. As I was very energetic and wanted to play sports and wanted to do things, my mom didn't like me. She was always telling me that I wasn't supposed to be her daughter because I was so different and I liked things that men do, not really women. And I was rejected throughout my childhood. So I was not only struggling to be fed, I didn't have a lot of love growing up. My mom used to really push me to live the life she wanted me to live. And then when I resisted from that, I was rejected, and I was bad, and I was called names. And so did my sisters, because they copied my mom's behavior. And that was the things that made me just want to leave and go do something with my life. I left my parents' house at 15 years old. I got introduced to jiu-jitsu, fell in love with the art. I started learning philosophy of martial arts, and that kind of really resonated with me. Felt like I had community. I felt like I had people to learn from. I had a lot of positivity around me. I had people striving to be better, and I love that. So when I was 15 years old, I told my mom that I was leaving in a big fight we had. I shouldn't believe it, but then I did, and I got a ride in the highway. This truck driver drove me 4 hours away to this other town where jiu-jitsu was already more developed. There was a team there called Kimura Nova União, and the coach there was Jair Lorenzo. And I met him when I was about like 14, and he gave me the address to the gym, and he said, "It looks like you have a lot of talent. If you want to train, here's the address for my gym." And this is where I went. I went there. When I got there by myself, I talked to him, and he was able to let me live in the gym and train in the gym. And this is where I stayed for 3 years, from 15 to 18 years old. I grew a lot. I was introduced to a lot of things: bad people, drugs, the young girl in this bigger town by herself. I was introduced to a lot of things: drugs, cigarettes, alcohol. But early on I knew that none of that would take me to the place I wanted to go. And then when I turned 18 years old, I was a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. I loved martial arts. I knew I found my path. And I decided to go to Rio de Janeiro because that's where the best fighters from Brazil were. And I was like, I need to be the best. I have to be around the best. And watching human behavior, watching what people were doing and becoming successful, led me to go to Rio. And the same thing repeated. I had the courage to take this ride from this truck driver to change my life a little bit. My life changed completely. 3 years later, I was ready to go to another level and change my life again. And I did that again. And I got to Rio. I had the opportunity to start training MMA because I was a jiu-jitsu person. And I had the desire to fight MMA, but people told me that I wasn't talented enough. I heard people in the gym taking my courage away from me, telling me that it was not going to be possible, telling me that it was too crazy, or telling me that if I did fight, the girls was not building careers in MMA. So I took all that, but I still believed in me. I remember I used to dress like a fighter and look at myself in the mirror, put some gloves on and look at myself in the mirror. And I would look at that and I would say, like, this is the person I'm gonna become. This is the vehicle that will take me somewhere in life one day. And I really believed on that so much. Even though nobody did, I did.